In today's video, I'm going to give you the only roadmap that you need in order to create your dream life. No fluff, no loopholes, just straight up truth. This is my 5-step guide on how I have already and still am currently creating my dream self, dream goals, and my dream life. Now, why am I just revealing my trick? Well, to be honest, I started out somewhere too, and I would have loved to have someone help me fast track my journey to come back home to myself, which is what we're all about in my world. So here we are. This is what we do on my channel. Now, I mirror back what you need to work on because at the end of the day, we have to be honest. You're not stuck because you are unlucky. You are stuck because your identity, your limiting beliefs, your unhealthy habits, your unhealthy patterns, your energy are not in alignment with the life that you say you want. So, here's how to fix that. 5 steps. Let's get into it. Step number 1 is define your desire. Let's stop pretending like being vague is going to get you anywhere, all right? It just creates more chaos and uncertainty. If you say you want freedom or more money or more happiness or love, but you cannot define what that tangibly looks like for you, your subconscious has nothing to lock onto. You are energetically broadcasting confusion, right? You're not being exact enough. You're not being specific enough. So get radically clear on what you want. And I mean specific as hell. What's the life that you actually desire? What's the version of you who's already living it, doing it, being it, having it, embodying it, feeling it? Get into as much detail as possible in here. And here's where most people miss it. If you don't define the thing, if you don't just define the thing, you connect to how it will feel, okay? Why? Because feelings and emotions are the language of your subconscious. If you want to rewire your reality, that's the language that you need to speak. Otherwise, you're creating more and more chaos and confusion. And that's what embodiment really means. So sit with it. Feel it as if it's already yours, and that's the key to creating your dream life. Where in your life do you currently feel disconnected from that feeling? Or where are you still showing up in contradiction to that future self? Okay, those are the type of questions that you need to ask yourself in this case. That's where the work starts. And when you redefine what all those things mean to you, you need to remember to be as detailed as possible. Because if you're manifesting more money without a specific action plan, well, the money could come tomorrow, in a few months, or even in a few years, or never. Who knows? Your subconscious, and therefore the universe, or God, or spirit, whatever you believe in, it doesn't know what exactly you want from it, what exactly you are asking, because you're not specific enough, all right? Number 2. Identity shift. And here it's important to understand that your life doesn't change when your goals change. Your life changes when your identity changes. You can renew your to-do lists. You can renew your bucket lists. You can renew your New Year's resolutions and all the things as many times as you want. But if you don't have this internal shift, nothing will change. And this is about embodiment, not pretending, not faking it, not waiting for the results before you allow yourself to believe, right? Not waiting for something to fall from the sky. This is about mentally and emotionally stepping into the version of you who already has what you want, okay? If she already had it, how would she speak? How would she dress? How would she no longer, what would she no longer tolerate? What energy would she lead with? How would her day look like? Her day in a life look like? What would her routines be? All of that stuff, okay? Again, be very specific. It's not enough to just post aesthetic pictures from Pinterest, right? If half the time you're looking like a couch potato. That's not embodiment, no matter how much intellectual knowledge you have. You are not embodying it. You're not sending out the right energy. That's why it's not coming to you. If you embody that and you are as specific as it can get, Now you act from that place. Not sometimes, not when it's convenient, every single day you show up for her and as her. Okay? Because your subconscious creates your reality from repetition, consistency, and familiarity. So you want to shift your identity, then you better start showing your system who you are now, not who you used to be. And that means that you're going to shift your self talk, you're going to shift your reactions, you shift how you move throughout the day. You don't dip in and out of this version of this life that you're living, right? Of your in and out of your consistency. You actually become her and you repeatedly act like that. Because if I had a euro for the amounts of times that I have heard people talk about identity shift and embodiment and so on and so forth, but then I look at them and I can literally see and tell that they are not who they say they are, that they are not who they portray to be online, no matter how much money they make, no matter how nice their content is, gosh, I would be filthy rich by now. Okay? You cannot expect to manifest being a feminine and soft, abundant, fit, whatever you dream of goddess when you run around like a homeless person in ugly sweats and unwashed hair and stinky hygiene and have the mindset of a couch potato and complain and gossip 24/7, all the things, right? Can you see the misalignment? It just doesn't work like that. It's not for you. And there's no way around it, right? That's what you need to understand as well. There's no way around it. You need that energetic shift. And I can literally see it within 3 seconds of looking at you, whether you say who you want to be or not. And believe me, I've been a big talker. I know all of the excuses. I know what it looks like to not actually embody it and to just portray it, to just perform it, right? To just act as if. Now, number 3, you need to commit to daily practice. And let me be very blunt here. You don't get to become your dream self if you're only consistent when you feel like it. And that's a hard lesson I had to learn as well. And believe me when I say, I used to be a master when it came to inconsistency in my behaviors and habits, right? I used to keep it up for 3 months, then quit again, go again for 2 weeks, then quit again, and so on for years on end. And it just seems so hard to break because you don't have a specific action plan, right? You're just completely disorganized. You're not just not disciplined, you're completely disorganized. And the reprogramming doesn't happen because you had one powerful meditation or a breakthrough in your journal, right? While I love those tools, they are not the only thing that keeps you going and makes that work actually happen and that deep. So it happens because you rewire your subconscious on a daily, not just once, not just twice, every single day. So you start your morning in the frequency of your future self, let's say through meditation, through visualization, energy priming, some good vibe music, whatever fits your person and hypes you up, right? Then you end your night with a practice that speaks directly to your subconscious mind while it's wide open and receptive, right? That's the most effective. Then, throughout the day, you are checking in with your self talk. Stop bashing yourself. Stop putting yourself down. Stop these negative beliefs, right? You're realigning when you catch yourself slipping into the old version of you, okay? And I always say this, you don't get the life that you want, you get the identity that you practice. So practice is what makes the master. And you cannot be a pro overnight, all right? That's just not realistic. That's just not how it works. That's not being pessimistic and negative. That's just what it is. That's just reality. So practice being her over and over and over again until she becomes the version of you that feels normal. Fourth, we have nervous system regulation. And oh gosh, I honestly believe I have never seen anyone really mention NSR when it comes to manifestation and becoming your best self, except for one of my mentors who really teaches it, but that's in regards to discipline. And I think that's such a shame because it just goes to show how show that a lot of people are just hopping on the trend of talking about different topics without really knowing much about it, right? Everybody talks about identity shift now, everybody talks about manifestation, quantum leaping, all the things, but nobody actually goes to the root to rewire yourself, to actually heal yourself. So here's what no one wants to talk about. Your nervous system is running the show. You can journal until your hand falls off, right? Like I said, you can affirm and manifest and do all the quantum work. But if your nervous system doesn't feel safe receiving or holding or embodying your desire, you will sabotage it every single time. There's no way around it. That's just what happens. So when resistance shows up, when your doubts kick in, when your mind spirals, or when you just feel completely triggered, that's your signal to push through, not your gut feeling, your body telling you to stop and rest, right? Because that's what you've been telling yourself. That's what your ego made you tell yourself, to just stop and take a rest and do all those things. That's not when you hide behind the mental health awareness and I'm listening to what my body tells me toxicity. You're just completely bypassing the work in that moment. When in reality, that's when you actually regulate. That's when you need to focus on your breathing, on your feeling, on your internal state, on just shifting from a moment of complete dysregulation and chaos to groundedness and to breathing and to just come back into your body, into the present moment. Because the regulated version of you, that's who's in control. That's who's calm. That's who's confident. That's who responds instead of reacting. That's who can handle actual growth. All right? Now, regulation is also not optional. This is not a nice to have kind of thing. It's the foundation of anything you desire. It's probably the most important step within those 5 steps here. Because if your body isn't on board, your mind alone cannot carry you. That's how you end up burning out. I will make another video about that one specifically, but you just simply cannot hold $1 million reality in a dysregulated nervous system. So do the damn work daily. Which brings me to my 5th step, which is take intuitive action. Manifestation without aligned action is just daydreaming, okay? But don't get it twisted. We're not talking about hustle and burnout and overcompensation. We're talking about soul-led, intuitive, and grounded action. Action that actually comes from a place of knowing and not panic or doubt or fear, right? Action that feels exciting and expansive and right and not forced or desperate. Don't get me wrong. Pushing through your ego is going to be uncomfortable, and your ego is trying to convince you that it's not the right way and not the right path to go, and to take a step back and to stop and all the things and to slow you down. But deep down, you actually have a knowing that it is the right thing to do. You can, with a lot of practice, you can distinguish between the two. So here's where discernment comes in. You need to know the difference between your intuition and your ego, because intuition moves from love and from truth and from vision, and it's very calm and grounded and secure, right? That feeling. Ego, on the other hand, moves from fear and control and protection, and it's very hectic and chaotic, and you actually feeling all over the place when it shows up. And most people confuse the two, which is normal because most of the time we learn to only listen to our ego and not our intuition. So we don't really know what the other one feels like. So they think they are being guided when really they're just listening to the part of them that's afraid to fail and afraid to be seen and afraid to expand, all right? Your ego will talk you out of every good thing. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. That's just how it's going to be. But your intuition, it will challenge you to rise, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable, right? Because everything that is, when you step out of your comfort zone, everything is unfamiliar, everything is uncertain. So it's normal to feel fear and to feel like you don't know what's going to be next. That is normal. But until once you expand that area, it's going to be familiar again, right? And so it's just a loop that you have to repeat every single time. So when it comes to action, trust your body, not your head, trust your body. If it feels like tight pressure, fear, or urgency, that's not your quantum self, right? That's not your core self. That is your conditioning. Aligned action feels clean, even if it's uncomfortable. It feels like the right choice to do. Charged, does it feel? It feels certain. Even if it's scary, it still feels true in some kind of way. That's the frequency that actually shifts timelines for you. And I know a lot of people will misunderstand me now as well, so I deem this as important to mention too. When I say don't move because of fear or doubt or uncertainty, I mean that you shouldn't run the opposite way anytime these feelings come up for you, right? There's a huge difference in moving with the fear and pushing through like successful people do versus moving because of it, moving because you're scared, because then you're moving in the opposite direction. Okay. The first one will help you reach your next level, while the other one lets you remain stuck once again. Okay. Now, that's the 5 steps that I use daily. You don't get your dream life by accident, you don't stumble into your next level. It's you who decides, it's you who takes action, it's you who aligns, it's you who embodies, and it's you who becomes. All right. This process will change everything, but only if you commit. And it's definitely not always easy. But if you do commit, you won't just achieve your dream life. You will realize that you were her all along. You just needed to come home to yourself. And that's what my world is all about. So join me here on my YouTube channel where I teach women weekly on how to become their most confident, healthy and healed, and most empowered self. Or if you really want to go all in, you will find the link to my membership where women truly become their most empowered selves by working in close proximity to me. All right? See you in the next videos.